Howdy, 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 folks. This video is going to be a review of the beast, the living legend, the Cutlass Black by Drake. This ship, oh man, I love it. Before I get into the ship, a couple of notes I want to put out. I published 6 ship review videos last night, and I am so grateful for everybody that's watched them, the comments, the likes, the subscribes. I'm so grateful. Like, I woke up this morning and I was ecstatic. And this is the last in my starter ship videos. A second note, and then we'll get to business. It was brought to my attention, I didn't particularly notice it, that there is some static from my microphone. I do apologize. I am, however, doing this on a shoestring budget because, well, it doesn't matter. But I'm doing the best I can with what I got. I really appreciate someone bringing that up to me because I don't hear static pitches particularly well. So I didn't even notice, but thanks to that heads up, one of the first things I'm going to get here soon is a real microphone for this kind of thing. Alright, but all the tedious stuff out of the way, let's get to the meat and potatoes of this video. So this is the Drake Interplanetary Cutlass Black. There are multiple versions of the Cutlass. This is the standard edition, if you will. The black is the regular Cutlass. There's also a medevac version called the Cutlass Red. It is not a starter ship, however. None of the other Cutlasses are starter ships, only the black is the only one that you can get a starter pack on. The Cutlass Black is always for sale on the RSI website. The starter pack for the Cutlass Black is $115 US. The standalone Cutlass Black is $100 US. In game, you can purchase this for $1,385. Or let me back up. Whew, I'm still excited. 1,385,300 Alpha UEC, which sounds like a lot when you're just starting out. It's really not. This was the very first game This was the very first ship that I bought in game, and it took me maybe a week or two of grinding bunkers, and I didn't even know really how to make money then. If you're wanting to try this ship out before you buy, either in game or with real life credits, one of the great things about it is rentable. I know for a fact you can rent it at every refinery. I don't have the rental price written down, but it's fairly affordable, and that lets you fly the ship for however long you rent it. This ship pairs really well with other ships too. If you're getting into mining, for example, and you have a prospector, you pledged a prospector, you can use this ship right here to carry your refined ore to sell at a trade division. But let's get into some of the stats on this thing, some of the components. Right off the bat, under these front wings on each side, there is a size 3 mount that has a size 2 gimbaled laser repeater, one on each side. If you go a little bit around the side here, you can see up on the fuselage above the wing, there's another size 3 mount on each side. That's also mounting a size 2 gun. The one on the fuselage, well, the 2 guns that are on the fuselage are Scorpion ballistic Gatlings. And then at the top you see the turret up there. The turret mounts 2, I'm not sure why I did that, mounts 2 size 3 Panther laser repeaters. Additionally, besides the guns, this thing comes standard with 16 missiles. There are 8 size 3 arresters, and then an additional 8 size 2 tempests. One of the first things I normally do when I get it, I didn't do it yet because I wanted to show the ship in stock form, but one of the things that I'm probably going to do actually right after I get done shooting this video is I'm going to go switch out all those missiles for Rattler 2s. Switching them out and switching the racks is going to let me carry 24 Rattler 2s, and that's a lot of firepower. That's a lot of missile power. And then I'm going to be switching out all 4 of the pilot controlled guns for taking the gimbals off, and I put size 3 Panther repeaters. As far as the internal components, everything is size 2. Stock everything is grade C. There's a little bit of internal component access. There's only 1 of everything except for coolers. You have 2 coolers. I could have swore this was openable. Either way. As far as the hard stats, the number stats for folks that are into that kind of thing, the hull has 32,120 HP. I gotta stop myself for a second. I forgot to mention earlier in the video, I'm calling this a starter ship, but it's got a really big asterisk next to it. Because asking someone to spend $115 on a game that they might not have played is a big ask to me. So if you played Free Fly and you really like the game and you want a bigger ship, this is a great one. And I still call it a starter ship because to me, a starter ship is a game pack, so you're going to get game access, but it's also a ship that's going to let you access a lot of the game. It's going to give you access to as many game loops as possible. It's one of the reasons I didn't do an Arrow or a Gladius or a Freelancer starter pack video, because yes, those are technically starter packs according to RSI, but those ships are a lot more specialized, which also means they're limited in other ways. But back to our numbers. The shields on this have 9,000 HP stock. The DPS for the stock loadout is 1,733. The SCM speed for the size of the ship is a very respectable 165 meters a second, and the maximum speed is 1,114. But let's talk about some of the pros here. So some of the pros of this ship, you probably already noticed there's this giant cargo bay. This cargo bay can hold 46 SCU of cargo. Yes, the Freelancer, which is $10 more, can carry 66. But the Freelancer flies like a brick. I personally can't stand the Freelancer. Once again, though, like I've said in all the other videos, if you love the Freelancer, this is not a that statement is not a judgment on you or your choice of ship. Fly the ship you like. I don't like it, and I wouldn't recommend a Freelancer to someone starting off. Along with the 46 SCU of cargo that can be locked to the grid, here in this cargo bay we have a ramp on the rear, and then these 2 they call them docking doors, but they're not really docking collars, so I just think of them as egress points. So one of the benefits of having those is if your ship gets soft deathed and you survive the fall, or you're out in space and you're having to float around, it's a lot easier to get out if there's multiple ways to exit the ship. One of the other big benefits, and probably the biggest benefit of this giant cargo bay to me, is you can fit a Cyclone ground vehicle in here. In fact, you can fit every variant of the Cyclone ground vehicle in here. For a Freelancer, yes, the Freelancer has a bigger cargo bay, but it's about that wide and straight. It doesn't flare out. Additionally, in the rear of the Freelancer, right about here for the where the ramp would be, right above you would be a turret that comes down, and if you're trying to get a cyclone in that's got any of the actual armament on the cyclone, it's going to clip onto that turret, and it's just a pain. There's none of those problems with this. You can just drop ramp, drive your cyclone right on in here, hop out, close ramp, go off, do what you want to do. Right out of the gate, this thing has decent firepower. I already mentioned, you know, the DPS on this stock is 1,733. That's great. It is upgradable to have fantastic firepower for what it is and the price point. It is surprisingly agile for its size. I remember the first time that I flew one of these, I was floored, because it handles much better than any ship this size has any right to do. Another note on the weapons, you know, if the weapons are upgraded and you practice with them a bit, you can do anything. This becomes a fantastic combat ship. Here in the crew compartment, let's start off with, there's these 2 lockers, so you can store items in there. There's of course the turret right here. You've got 2 beds for you and your crewmates. There are 4 weapon racks. There's a co-pilot seat. The co-pilot can handle shields, handle moving power around. I'm going to pop in the pilot seat because I want to highlight something. I've mentioned it in some of the other review videos, but I think it's important. Is the view on this is actually really nice. It's another one of the things that really separates this ship from a Freelancer for me, is that the Freelancer has this almost airplane design on its nose, and because of that, it's got a really thin windscreen and it's really difficult to see out of. You don't have any of that problem with the Cutlass Black. It is wide open. You can see all around. You can even see below you as you're coming in for a landing. And that's something that, you know, I didn't think about when I was buying my first ships, but boy, after flying a few that weren't great, I do now. I'm gonna go ahead and lift off. I think somebody's coming in. I'm gonna get out of his way. Some other pros for this ship is it is an extremely flexible ship. You can do pretty much any mission set, anything you want to do in the game. You can probably do it with a Cutlass. You know, it can carry a crew of 3 that are actually engaged, have things to do, and then it's a mixed bag for this last pro, but it is important. This ship has a pirate reputation. I mean, it's called the Cutlass. So sometimes, especially when you're coming up on smaller ships, they'll see this ship and they'll decide maybe they just want to leave. They don't want to deal with baloney. Some of the cons. When we were talking about components, I mentioned there's only 1 shield generator, and this is a very large ship. Well, not very large. If you want to compare it to, like, you know, a Hercules or something like that, it's not large. But, you know, for a starter ship, it's a very large ship, and compared to fighters and other primarily maneuver air combat ships, it's very large. And because of that, it has an extremely large cross section, and the shielding on this has a little bit of trouble sometimes protecting that middle, and that's not a problem that is solely related to the Cutlass Black. That is something that happens. Hey, look, somebody else brought theirs out. Nice. That is a problem that is endemic to pretty much all of your larger combat ships, but in this one it's a little more exacerbated because it's only got that 1 shield generator. The firepower is good. Upgraded firepower is great, but it can be a bit limiting when you're going against the ERTs or VHRTs. The practice will negate that, and if you switch out to size 3 guns, going up to VHRT solo is a very, very obtainable thing. And then additionally, I wanted to add 2 small things that are kind of critiques on this spacecraft in general. The ramp has a habit, when you get damaged in the rear of the ship, the ramp has a habit of getting stuck either up or down. Not too big a deal because you can just egress from the sides, but something to take note of. And then my last actual gripe for this ship is, for whatever reason, this ship just eats hydrogen fuel. I mean, if you're boosting hard, you can just watch that hydrogen fuel just disappear. It is crazy. As far as mission set, I've already mentioned it a couple times already, but this ship can do anything. Anything that's an in-game mission, this ship can be useful for. Obviously, it can run boxes, your waste missions, your delivery missions, your research assistant missions very easily. You can carry a small complement of pals with you to go do, your investigation missions, your search missions. Because it can fit a usable ground vehicle inside, you can use this for every type of bunker that the game has to offer. It can, in a pinch, be used as a drop ship. And it's a great way to get into cargo hauling. I mean, 46 SCU isn't going to be a massive profit for each load, but it's going to add up. And because it's only 46 SCU, it's not going to break the bank if you lose a load. So you can get you can get a feel for running cargo, kind of set up your own routes with this. And then, once you step up to a real cargo ship, a true cargo ship, you're not going to be having to do all the hard work from the get. You're going to be able to just start and go. And then the other thing is with that cargo, if you're out running box delivery missions and you want to make a little bit of extra money, it's a very feasible thing to do. You just run into the admin center, pick up some trade goods, go finish your mission, but then turn the trade goods in. It's a nice way to roll in profit. If you've got a crew member with you running the turret, especially if you've got a crew member with you running turret and power management, this ship can absolutely handle ERTs. You'll want to practice a bit. That's with any ship you're going to do ERTs in. But that's money. And if you're running all repeaters, you can just chain VHRTs and ERTs and just start stacking cash. So keep that in mind, folks. Like, a ship that's flexible like this is a fantastic either first pledge for your starter pack, or it's just a great ship to have in general. This is my daily driver. This is a ship that I'm most likely going to be seen in if I'm moving around doing things in the verse. It's just great. Well, that's all I've got to say on the Cutlass Black. There you go. I'm not sure why my guy's doing the zombie lean, but oh well. I mentioned it earlier. I want to bring it up again, guys. I am so grateful for all of the views, the attention, the comments, likes, subscribes. I am so grateful for the time you guys are spending watching my videos. This is a one-man operation. I'm doing the best I can. And and I'm sure it shows in both good and negative ways. But please like and subscribe if you like what I'm doing. If you don't like what I'm doing, hey, that's fine. Do me a favor before you hit that dislike button. Take 10 seconds, hit me in the comments, and tell me where I lost you. Because I want to make content that works for my viewers. I want to make content that's informative and fun. And that's my goal. That's the whole goal of the channel. I've got one hard rule for myself, and that's boundless optimism. And it's working. So, like I said, folks, thanks again for watching. And I can't wait to see you guys out there in the verse.